Hi everyone, my name is Adam Sealey. I'm an award-winning back pain specialist and osteopath, and today I'm going to be talking about one of the most common and misunderstood things I see in clinic, which is sciatica. So what is sciatica? Sciatica is when the sciatic nerve, which is the biggest nerve in the human body, becomes irritated. And this can happen in one of two ways, either through direct compression of the nerve itself or through chemical irritation from surrounding structures, which is actually far more common. It's actually a misconception that with sciatica and other trapped nerve type conditions that the nerve's actually getting squashed. Recent research shows us that it's actually inflammation of nearby structures that causes chemical irritation in the surrounding areas that happen to irritate nerves as they're passing through. So you can see here that the sciatic nerve is made of different branches that exit the spine in the lower back, then they converge together, traveling down past the hip and into the leg all the way to the toes. So when the sciatic nerve is irritated, the typical presentation is pain down the length of the leg. However, because it's a nerve, this can also present as paresthesia, which is pins and needles, or anesthesia, which is numbness. You can also get weakness into the leg too, or something else that's called dysesthesia, which is kind of like an altered sensation, which is hard to describe, somewhere between pins and needles and numbness. So if you haven't gathered by now, sciatica is just a symptom of a bigger problem. Exactly the same as how having a runny nose is a symptom of having a cold. Now this is an important distinction to make because when you're treating a cold, you don't treat the runny nose, you treat the cold itself. Exactly the same with sciatica. So when I'm treating, it's not that I'm treating the sciatica, I'm treating the thing that's causing the sciatica. So the most common structures that can cause sciatica are from a disc prolapse. The intervertebral discs are the little squidgy bits that sit in between the vertebrae. So what can happen is the fluid inside the disc can push up against the outside like this and cause a little bulging effect. Alternatively, if it was to bulge too far, that ruptures and the fluid escapes into the surrounding tissues, kickstarts a massive inflammatory process, and that really aggravates the surrounding nerves that exit the spine, and they're the ones that go down into the sciatic nerve. The other most common cause is from a muscle called your piriformis that's in your hip. So the sciatic nerve runs very close to this muscle and in some circumstances travels straight through that muscle. So if the piriformis gets irritated, almost without a doubt, the sciatic nerve is going to be involved to some extent. So how do you know if you've got sciatica? Sciatica is typically made worse by lying on your back and then lifting your symptomatic leg up straight. That puts mechanical tension through that nerve, and if it is the sciatic nerve that's getting irritated, that will aggravate it. In a similar fashion, if you're sitting down and you drop your chin down to your chest and slouch forward, and then straighten your leg on the symptomatic side at the knee, in a similar way this will put pressure through that sciatic nerve, and if you're feeling discomfort from the back or down into the leg, that's an indication the sciatic nerve is getting involved. So what do you do if you think you have sciatica? Well, the good news is mostly sciatica will get better on its own after about 6 weeks. However, if you are 6 weeks in and it's showing no signs of progress or getting worse, then you absolutely need to talk to a professional. However, pain is pain, so even if it hasn't been 6 weeks, if you or someone you know is struggling with sciatic type symptoms, please don't hesitate to contact me. So that's all for today. I hope that helps, and I will speak to you later.